Okay, so just to go over the concluding sentence for the last question, it was to find the relationship between the area of the rectangles and to find the relationship between the areas of the triangles. And we found out that in the first scenario, it was 4 times the area. In the second scenario, it was 16 times the area. I did forget to put question B. Question B is asking you what the scale factor is. So to find the scale factor, I'm just going to write down the question here. The scale factor is the letter K. Okay. So to find that scale factor, you could do it the easy way or you can do it the harder way. So if you go up and you look at the triangles, you can see here that between 4 and 8, there's a relationship. So when you get from 4 to 8, you just multiply by 2. And that works for from 5 to 10, and it also works from 3 to 6. So that's the easy way to find the scale factor for question I. Okay, so we can just write here, that for the triangles, the scale factor, K, equals to 2. Now the hard way of doing that is to label your sides and start up a ratio. Okay, so if we do a ratio, you don't necessarily have to label your sides because you know that this side is related to this side. So what you can do is you can write 4 over 8, and then you could just divide them. Now, notice here how 4 divided by 8 is 0.5. I like answers in fractions, which is 1 over 2. The scale factor is also 1 over 2. It just depends which number you put first. So I can do 1 over 2, or I can put 8 at the top and 4 at the bottom. And if I do that, then I get a K value of 2. So it depends which way you're going. So if you get 1 over 2, that's just because you're going in this direction. So to get from 10 to 5, you multiply by 1 over 2. When you multiply by 1 over 2, it's basically just like dividing by 2. So 10 divided by 2 is 5, 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. So it doesn't matter which direction you go in, the scale factor actually works in both directions. So if we take a look at the next question for question 2, we're going from 2 to 8, and we're going from 3 to 12. So if I want to go from 2 to 8, I multiply by 4. And from 3 to 12, I multiply by 4. So they're both the same. So we can just say that the scale factor for question 2, K, is equal to, I forgot what it was, I think it was 4, is 4. So K equals to 4. Now, if we do it the other way, we can do 2 over 8. Okay, so 2 over 8. Whoops. If you reduce 2 over 8, it gives you, just divide both by 2, it gives you 1 over 4, okay? Which means that your K would be equal to 1 over 4. But we have 2 solutions. If you switch that around, you put the 8 on the top, which is allowed. 8 divided by 2 is 4, which means K equals 4. So you really, the scale factor, there's 2 possibilities. It depends which number you put on top and which number you put at the bottom. But it really does not make any difference whatsoever. Now what's interesting about this is if you use the K factor of 2 in the first scenario, there's a relationship between 2 and the relationship between the areas. If you take the 2, how do you get from 2 to 4? Now if you can do times 2, but it doesn't work the same if you use the 4. 4 times 2 is 8, not 16. So I'm trying to find the relationship from 2 to 4, and from 4 to 16, that's the same. Well, the answer to that is if you square the 2, it gives you 4. And if you square the 4, it gives you 16. And the reason you square it is, again, because it's area. So there's a relationship between the scale factor and the number of times your area is the relationship between the areas. So in the first example with the triangles, it was 4 times the area, and our scale factor was 2. So the relationship is that it's 2 squared equals 4. And same with your rectangle. The rectangle 2 was 16 times the area of rectangle 1, and the scale factor was 4. So if you do 4 squared, it gives you 16. So that part's a little bit more complicated. If you didn't catch on to that, don't worry too much. We can go over that in class as well.